All right, everybody. You know what time it is? Got another goddamn watch. I keep saying I'm done with watches. And then I'm like, oh, that looks cool. Now, at least these are less expensive ones. But, we've been talking about the Casio before. It always comes up because it's just for $50. It's a fantastic dive watch. And while I've said you should get the one with the bracelet, I did change out the NATO strap that I had that was red and blue. I mean, in some ways it looked kind of cool, but I think it looks a little classier and a little less flashy just using a simple brushed stainless navy blue NATO strap. So I think that came out looking much better. What are we rocking today? Wrist check. We got our Seiko Series 5 automatic sport watch. Mechanical movement, 41.5 millimeter. Little small, but just big enough. Nice watch. And I got another G-Shock. So I don't think this is going to take my place of the best watch for under $100 if you want just an indestructible watch that does everything and no maintenance. Don't have to set the time. It's done automatically via radio signal, all that kind of crap. Solar powered. This one doesn't have some of that functionality, but some people might not like that 90s look. They might want something that looks a little different and has even more mud protection than that G-Shock. Enter the G9000-1 VCF. I wonder what VCF stands for. Anyway. Now these ones, because they are less expensive, these are ones that are going to be more like what you might see on the shelf at Target or something like that. This was $70-something. Wasn't that expensive. Very inexpensive, especially in today's world. What this is the basic Mudman. So again, a little bit smaller than this because, I said for me, this is like, the ideal size. For some people, that's still going to be a chunky watch. It's not as big as this one that's got the compass built in and, the mud guards and temperature sensor and all that and a solar powered. That's a big boy. That also MSRP is $220. So, if you want something that's legible, but maybe you don't like those little 3 dials, and some people don't, they want to read more. I think this one fits. I think this one actually looks better than that. It's a couple bucks cheaper. I think it's like $74. Has the same kind of, backlight, which isn't going to show up really well here, but yeah, there you go. Trying to get the angle right because this is where I'm looking, and then there's where the camera looks. Really nice display, really legible in the dark. But it's a little thicker, but it's just a little bit smaller. So I think on the wrist, it's going to wear a little better. No fancy case on these ones. So we'll just pop this thing off, throw that crap aside. I've already set the time and everything on it. So for this one, this is shock resistant, mud resistant, 200-meter water resistant. It's got like 45 time zones, dual illuminator. It has the additional mud protection. So the buttons are underneath this cover, which is then kind of wraps around and sealed. So mud won't get into the action like you could get on this one or on the Casio. Still water resistant, but mud could get in there. And if grit gets in there, it could chew up the rubber seals. And that might, over time, compromise the water resistance. Now, if you're not doing Spartan races or, getting your watch caked with mud, it might not be an issue. But some people like that extra protection. I mean, it's nice just to have it, I guess. So what have you got? You've got your standard time, and you can do military or 12-hour time. You've got your day of the week. You got your date. You got your daylight savings time. You can scroll through. You got 2 different stopwatches you can be running. So you can start one and then start another one and run them both simultaneously, which is kind of cool. You also have a timer you can come in and set. And what's nice is that when you're in these menus, because you have dual screens, so while I'm in here looking at the timer, when I'm looking at stopwatches, I still have in my time zone the accurate time, which is kind of nice. Set your alarms, and then I can see my world time. So you set what the Greenwich Mean Time or UTC is, and then I've got to go to Chicago in a few weeks, so then I can come in here and say, well, I want to see what the time is in Chicago. And so what the time there is going to be, why is it saying 0:43? Did I get my AM PM mixed up on my time? I might have. I think I have it set for 1 a.m. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go in and we're going to DST, UTC. We're going to set that to 1 p.m. Didn't even catch that. All right, so we're at 13:43. All right, boom. So there we go. So now when I go in to my world time and I'm looking at Chicago, I've got the correct time. And same thing, if you go to LA, you go to Honolulu, you go to any time zone, you can just scroll through and set your world time for whatever it is. And that way you know what time it is where you are, and you also will know what time it is back home without having to go in and set your watch every time. Once you set your time zone and local time in reference to the Greenwich Mean Time or UTC, all of your other 45 time zones are automatically in sync. So kind of cool. Yeah, other than that, I mean, it's just a basic watch. Really, you know, the benefits or downsides of it versus, you know, this one is they're the same thickness, but it's a little smaller diameter on the wrist. And instead of having these dials, which frankly, I don't know what I like the look of the dials, but in some ways I think this is a better looking watch. What this has going for it is it's only a few dollars more, and it has solar and it has the radio signals to automatically set the time every night. So you basically set it and forget it. You won't have to touch anything or do anything for 15, 18, 20 years. That's really nice for an extra $5. If you don't care about those features and you just resign yourself to every 2-3 years, you're gonna have to unscrew the back and just throw a battery in it. Not a big deal. And the time is really accurate on these things anyway, so it's not like you're constantly having to reset the time. That just gives you a little bit extra precision and never having to change a battery. If you'd rather have it, you know, like the dual screens, and you know, this screen might be physically bigger, but those dials, like, oh, okay, I can see the seconds going by on that, but it doesn't do anything for me really. I kind of wish if I could design the watch between these two, I would almost rather have this watch with the solar. And I'll look and see if they have a version of that. This one is nice, but I kind of like the red buttons. I think it gives it breaks up the color a little bit. And while I do like the look of those dials, it's an aesthetic thing. They're not really that useful. There's nothing on there that you're really using. It's just showing you tenths of a second or something like that. And then it's showing you, I don't know, day, a week. I mean, unless you can really read that stuff. No, it's not even that. I'm not even sure what those things are, to be honest. I'll have to look at the damn manual. I just look at the time and date and stopwatch and things like that. This one, I think, for some reason, more digital, even if it's a little bit smaller. I feel like there's less wasted space here. And maybe because of that, because maybe to have those dials, you need to have some area here for the solar panels. And all the black that surrounds, that area is the solar panel that charges the lithium battery inside. And here, maybe with it all being digital and very little borders, maybe there's not enough to do that. I don't know. Although you look at this one and you're like, that one manages to pull it off, so maybe I'm talking out of my ass. I don't know. I think this is a nice looking watch. Let's do a wrist check. Take off my Seiko. Nice watch, by the way. And let's see how this fits on I have a 7 1/3 wrist. This one, I'll say the band is nice. It uses the dual prong. They are all part of one piece though, so you don't have to sit there try to line up one and then the others flop around. They both will go in at the same time. Giggity. Yeah, sits on the wrist, nice, super light, doesn't weigh anything. It'll be impervious to pretty much water, oil, salt, anything, mud, just hose it off. 200-meter water resistance. That's a really nice looking watch. The only downside is I like having the solar, but I think that's actually maybe the better looking of the two aesthetically. I think that's a prettier looking watch. Let's get it out of Chicago. So I see the day of the week. I'm going to change that from military time back to 12-hour time. But yeah, really nice. I think it's a great watch. It's a great option. I think, you know, again, if you're looking for that watch under $100 that can do everything and you don't have to worry about it, and you know, you get it wet, you get it muddy, you get it dirty, it'll just keep on going. You drop it off a ladder, it's fine. you got to have a G-Shock. They don't make any other watches in that price range that are that reliable and well regarded and just that sort of hell and back again, whether you're in the military, whether you're a firefighter or EMT or first responder, whether you're a hunter, whether you're a hiker or extreme sports, whatever it is you're doing, a G-Shock is what you want. Now, you might want to spend more money if you want one fancy. Well, go spend $3,500 and get a metal G-Shock. You're going to have a nice, high-end G-Shock, but a lot of people don't want to spend that money or can't spend that money. So I think that's where these things come in. Casios and I've seen some of these go on sale in other colors for right around the $100 mark. So, I mean, you could be looking at a Casio in that $100-ish range. But if you want to be well under with tax, sales tax, shipping, everything, these are two fantastic buys. This one, if you want one that's a little smaller and you don't care about solar or automatic time setting, but if you want to have those little niceties of features of just never having to change the battery or worry about it, then I would go with that. I think this one's a little bulkier, maybe doesn't look as good, but you get, that's the trade-off. It's like anything. There's no one watch that has everything exactly the way you want. You're going to find the watch that gives you the most of the things, and then you make a concession or two because it's the best of what's available. And then, of course, if you want to stay under $100 and you like the more classy dive watch and you want a watch that doesn't look like it's under $100, well, go with the Casio Duro. Different colors, different bands, different bracelets, or throw a damn NATO strap. Throw a $15 NATO strap on a $50 watch, and you're in for, with taxes and shipping, $73 all in for a really nice, classy watch. Classic style. I don't know if it's classy or not. Someone has a Rolex is going to go, that's not classy. Someone who normally wears a G-Shock or a basic Timex or just a beater watch or a Swatch would look at that and go, that looks kind of classy. It doesn't mean it is, because it's cheap, but it is looking that way. So there you go. I need to figure out how to put it back into 12-hour time, but there you have it, folks. That is the model 9000-1 VC something. I'll put the link in there. Beautiful little watch, really nice. And the things just, even though they look bulky, they don't weigh anything. There's not a lot of metal in there, a little bit. The rest is going to be carbon fiber inside and this resin plastic, which has like slightly rubbery, shock absorbing, chemical, solvent resistant qualities. It's perfect. You can start real cheap and then move your way up into some of these other ones like this one. And they've got other G-Shocks that are bigger and fancier, and you can spend as much kind of as you want. I think these are kind of the sweet spots in that, anywhere from $75 up to like $300. There's a wide range of G-Shocks that fall in that price. Some fall under, some go higher, but in that range, you can get some nice quality watch snob sort of proof utilitarian tool watches. And I said on one of the other videos, you can unscrew this outer crown and get a red one. If you gouge this up, but the underlying watch is fine, you can go for $12 and get a replacement, or there's even aftermarkets that change up the design a little bit. You want to Gucci it out a little bit, if you will. You can replace, if you damage the outer hull, the inner hull is still intact, unless you really smash it with a hammer or something. So you can replace those parts either because you need to, because you gouged them up or wore them out, the lettering wore off over 9 years. You can just throw a new cover on it and you basically got a new watch. Or you might want to make it a little bit more personalized and go for one of the aftermarket mod type covers. You can do all kinds of cool stuff. And it's easy to do. You just need a little tiny Phillips screwdriver. You're not trying to take this off and replace a bezel. I'm sure people can do that with the right tools and know-how. I don't know how to do it. I can do that, though. So anyway, there you go. That is the G9000-1 Casio G-Shock. We'll put a link in the description. Great option. Really like the way it looks.